Ladies and gentlemen, the show will commence in 5 minutes. While you are waiting, please hit the like button and share the video link.
Please like and leave a comment, and share this video.
Only 3 minutes until the start. Only 2 minutes until the start.
Please like and subscribe to this channel today. And don't forget to share it and hit that thumbs up. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the awesomeness is about to start in 1 minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin. Grab a drink and a snack, sit down and enjoy watching the show. Don't forget to comment, like the video, and share it to others.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's live show 58 live from Minsk, Belarus with myself and Dr.
Duke.
Doolittle. Duke. Dr. Duke Little.
Yes.
How was the zoo today?
Oh, well, baby rabbits today, lots of baby rabbits. I wonder, is it a full moon or something? It's if I were going to be staying there, I would be looking at the what is the moon doing, because it's like two mothers had babies on the same day. So it's like, I'm wondering if it cycles depending on the moon or something. Just asking.
Duke's last few days at the zoo. Then he's a man of leisure.
Man of what?
Leisure.
Oh, gosh, not really.
Sitting around, living off his money.
Potato chips, popcorn, sitting on the couch, trying to keep the couch warm as possible in summertime.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Air conditioner full up.
Just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
So, yesterday, June 22nd, was the National Day of Remembrance in Belarus.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Well, that was the day at 4 o'clock in the morning when the Soviet Union was attacked by Nazi Germany.
So
Brest.
Yeah. So we made a little video. It's 8 minutes long. We'll talk while it's on, and it's just going around different places of the country, showing what was happening. So we'll do that first, and then we'll get into.
You can't call it a celebration. I guess it's a
memorial.
Yeah. What do you call it when it's something like that?
Well, it's celebration. They won.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Victory Day, I suppose.
It's not much of a win. It's terrible, isn't it? When you lose half of or a quarter of your population, the country's destroyed.
They're saying 30% now.
30%, really?
They've upped it. They've upped it. 1 in 3.
Yeah, and Belarus is just slowly recovering, because when you lose that much of your population, all your best engineers and everybody were sucked out of the country into Germany, and then after that, a lot of them left to the west, I guess, as well. So Belarus, in particular, had a lot more rebuilding to do than even Russia. So
at the end of this little video, there's a list of all the camps and how many people died in each one. So you'll have a look. There's a fair few people. So we'll get to that now. Here we go.
National remembrance of the victims of the Great Patriotic War and the genocide of the Belarusian.
Oh no.
Okay, can you give me a second?
Technical problems again. A lot of what do you call it? Things redone, new things put in here, and some things didn't work. So Dave's been trying to get all the best solutions. Maybe since we're over here and there's sanctions, and you get something and there's something wrong with it, it's not that easy. You can't just send it back. You either are stuck, or I don't know, maybe you can go back over there and then send it back, and then to get another one, you got to go back again to get it, and onto the west, and things like that. But
you know what was wrong?
What's that?
I didn't plug it in.
Oh, you didn't integrate your power supply at the source?
No, I didn't plug the laptop into the actually box to display it. So that's NPC error.
Do it.
Here we go. Let's start that again. So sorry that everybody. Hopefully everybody can hear it. Let's do.
National remembrance of the victims of the Great Patriotic War and the genocide of the Belarusian people is celebrated in Belarus.
Celebrate.
The country remembers those who, at the cost of their lives, fulfilled their duty to defend the motherland, all those who died at the hands of the Nazis and those who died in the rear from hunger and deprivation. Commemorative events on the occasion of the mournful date will be held today in all regions of the country. And at exactly noon on June 22nd, the All-Belarusian Minute of Silence will allow us to honor the memory of everyone who, at the cost of their own lives, preserved peace on our land. Belarusians remember everyone who died from the atrocities of fascism in the most terrible war in the history of mankind, who survived and defeated the enemy in the name of a peaceful future for those living today. On the day of national remembrance of the victims of the Great Patriotic War and the genocide of the Belarusian people throughout the country, people lit candles, remembering those who died during the war on the battlefields, in fascist captivity, tortured in concentration camps, and died of hunger and disease in the rear. There are places on our land where you don't notice the vibrant trills of birds, the colorful dance of meadow herbs is not pleasing to the eye, and when you look at the blue sky, a lump gets stuck in your throat. Black, Enveloping pain constrains movements and thoughts. I want to close my eyes, but through the piercing silence I can hear women's sobs, pitiful prayers, and the sobs of old people. Children are choking in heartrending screams under the ominous crash of walls engulfed in merciless flames. The earth is melting. Machine guns are chattering. The soul trembles with bitter realization, life once stopped here. It was. In Khartin and Borki, Ola and Shanovka. Decades later, the severity of the tragedy our people experienced at the hands of the Nazis does not fade. And it will never fade away. Our land has absorbed too much of the innocent blood of its good, peaceful inhabitants. The terrible reality beats with pain in every heart. Something that cannot be imagined in the worst dream happened in reality. Miraculously surviving eyewitnesses and countless silent memorials bear witness to this. The exceptional courage and heroism of the Soviet people in the citadel, their indestructible fortitude, the will to resist and faith in victory became an obstacle to the advance of the invaders, the Prime Minister of Belarus. Belarus still stands like an indestructible breast fortress on the path of Nazi followers, not allowing the revival of an ideology alien to Christian morality. This is our sacred duty to the heroes, veterans and victims of the Great Patriotic War, Roman Golovchenko. Located at the border, beyond which there is a demonstrative buildup of military force, we especially acutely understand the importance of protecting the borders of our motherland. Preserving the memory soaked in the blood of the Soviet people, we are able to provide an inevitable and adequate response to anyone who dares to encroach on the peace in our country. We will not allow anyone to disturb the peace won for us by our ancestors, or to take away the highest value of the Belarusian people, independence.
Без всякого объявления войны германские вооруженные силы атаковали границы Советского Союза.
22 июня 1941 года. В эту ночь перед немцами 190 миллионов сердец задрожали от гнева и возмущения, загорелись ненавистью к фашизму.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, what near between 2.5 3 million
That died in the camps. You
got
mean?
murdered. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more I think died in real life. I mean, civilians and everything else. And I think that's probably in the camps. I don't know. I think it's over 2 million. Yeah, it's and Germany, the official Red Cross records, those that died in the camps in Germany, I think it's 170,000. So in other words, far less died in any kind of, what do you call them? What do they call those things? You know, like Dachau and stuff.
Concentration camps.
Yeah, far less died in Germany than died in
Yeah, and
Belarus.
the last video we got is President Lukashenko down at the Brest Fortress. With, yeah, so there you go. Big news is, well, not big news, but news is on July 3rd is the big Independence Parade, and we will be there live, Duke, myself, and another friend of ours, local, and we'll be streaming live from that early in the morning. I think it's around 10, I think, maybe. Anyway, between 9 and 10 a.m. our time. So that'll be, I don't know, what's that, 6 in the morning in UK or something? Anyway, 6 or 7 in the morning, around that time.
Put it on your calendar, people.
Yeah, yeah.
3rd of July.
They've brought in like 10 T-34s from Russia, so they'll be screaming up the road.
Mm-hmm.
It's near the the road near the museum, the Great Patriotic Museum.
Great Patriotic Museum. Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, if I'll just show you, I haven't got it on here. They've blocked the road off now because they're starting to what do you call it?
So that goes past the Galleria too, or is it?
No, the other way, like straight.
Of course, yeah. It's not going to be in the direction
Not that way,
of
that way.
the church. Yeah,
Yeah.
It'll be the other side. Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. So everybody, July 3rd, we'll be live from the Independence Day Parade.
Those overseas, it'll be early for you.
Yeah, we'll obviously have a look at our Telegram channel. We'll post on Twitter, X, and we'll post on the YouTube on the community there. And we'll keep you informed exactly when, where, what. And we have to go there really early.
Yeah,
it's going to be packed.
And the T-34, that's the most used tank by the Soviets in World War II. So, and I guess they have 10. You say of those?
10 have come from Russia operating. Yeah. Wow. And other weapons or other tanks and all sorts of things. So it should be good. And also they've got military from Uzbekistan and all that coming as well in the march as well. So there'll be lots of different people. I don't think there'll be any Westerners.
Probably not.
Except us. No, I mean, in the Independence Parade itself.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them say, "Oh, Russia didn't even take part in World War II," when of course, I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Some of them actually do want to try to make it a part of history that Russia wasn't there or something, or didn't play any significant part. When, of course, they played, even according to a lot of historians in America, the biggest part. They were the main contingent that defeated the Nazis in World War II. Was the Soviets. So
I would say they were. I think if it wasn't for the Red Army, Europe and
we'd be speaking German right now.
UK would be speaking German. You already speak German. What are you going on about?
Yeah. Ich spreche natürlich Deutsch.
Yeah. In fact, you wouldn't have gone to America. You wouldn't have been born there, I suppose.
Wouldn't have been born there. No.
Well, your mother wouldn't have
I
left.
wouldn't have been born at all then. I probably.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
See, thanks to the Red Army, Duke was born.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah, true. I guess that is true, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
I owe my life to the
The
Red Army.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's it. So yes, big January 20, and today is the anniversary of, I can never say this properly, Operation Bagration. Anyway, that's when they started pushing the Nazis back. They took Belarus, the Red Army. They took Belarus. They took the Baltics, and they took part of Poland in this operation.
I don't even know the Soviet name. I know it was Barbarossa by the.
Yeah, no, this was Operation Bagration or something like that. Yeah. I've butchered the name, but there you go. Yeah, so that started today, and then within a few weeks, they'd taken the Baltics, they'd taken Belarus, they'd taken parts of Poland. It was the big push.
Wow.
That's what that, the Mount of Glory.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that
signifies. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a book in English, a very good book. I think it's Rianovsky or whatever. I think it was even written in the States when it's supposed to be very, very good. And I got to try to get that. We'll see. Trying to get it in hardback. Anyone has a free copy, please send it to me.
I'm just going to have a look at, it's Operation Bagration. It's probably
Bagration.
Yeah, it's probably,
Russian somehow.
Probably different than Russian, but but I'm butchering it in Western English. Okay. So there you go. That's it. Last 2 days, yesterday and today.
Okie dokie.
Okay, let's get on to news. And you want to talk about this guy?
Gaddafi first, yes.
I've heard he's an evil man.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? This is,
Here's another reason why you can't believe the Western stuff. All right, so here we go. Tell us about this evil man.
Here we're trying to talk today mostly about a lot of psyops, and of course, everything the West does is a psyop anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, and this was even, I was so convinced. It was during the Reagan times. Oh, he got up and he bombed not Baghdad. He bombed Tripoli,
and also that disco in Germany. That disco in Germany, he's supposed to have done as well.
I might remember something.
It was full of U.S.
that.
servicemen.
I remember downing some kind of some flight TWA something or something.
Oh no, that was the one that blew up over Lockerbie in Scotland.
Yeah, first they were pinning it on Gaddafi, and it turns out he didn't do it. But even though
he paid for it,
even though he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, because he just wanted to get back into the communities, like stop your sanctions.
That's incredible.
He gave up his nukes as well. Well, his nuclear, what they were going for, he gave that up because that was the deal. Of course, then they killed him. So that's why Kim in North Korea won't give up his. You just can't trust him.
Yeah. No, I mean, geez, he was doing everything for the West. I mean, I was thinking, he's not a very good-looking guy, and he wears women's dresses. It looked to me like. Of course, that's not true. And I was thinking, he's not a very good guy, and I don't know. It's like it just makes you wonder, what else have we been convinced of? Like in the West today, they talk bad about Lukashenko, and when if you've been to Belarus, you live in Belarus and all that, and you see what's going on here, it's like none of that stuff is true. It's
So tell us about Mr. Gaddafi.
Yes, let's get to Gaddafi. This is mostly because Dave...
Shock me.
Shock you, because I got it from Dave's the one that put it on the
okay. I'm not shocked.
site. Yeah, but it might shock a lot of the other people. I knew some of this stuff, but the big.
I'm sure I missed some things out.
Yeah, the big. I guess the war against him started in 2011. I guess 13 years ago. It's history. Summer 2011. But it's very relevant today because of what this all signifies, what the West did and what they continue to do, and it's a similar playbook as what they do now. It was undeniably NATO, and of course, NATO is supposed to be a defensive alliance, and I thought it was supposed to be on NATO countries. That has nothing to do with NATO down in Libya, and they launched the attack. So, in other words, it wasn't defensive at all. I mean, even back then.
Sounds like Yugoslavia.
Yes, another one, So in other words,
sounds like Afghanistan.
It's undeniable proof that NATO is an offensive alliance more than anything else. It's an offensive alliance. It's made to attack other countries. It's not defensive in any way, shape, or form.
And it's trying to do that now sneakily in Ukraine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they try to do provocations to make it look like somebody else is the one that started it. You know, Putin got up one morning, put his slippers on, and said, "Let's attack Ukraine."
Yeah, I want the
Oh,
Soviet Union back.
just don't notice that actually in reality, NATO was bombing Western Ukraine, I mean Eastern Ukraine, all that time, killing thousands of people, and they just didn't put it on the news. I mean, so it shows how the media is complicit. You know, as everybody knows, they're bombing the Donbass, and I mean, Ukraine was actually, you know, in real effect, doing it. You know, NATO was doing it through Ukraine. In other words, killing their own people, and which is what it was. And Putin had no intention of absorbing the Donbass or anything. When the opportunity presented himself for the Crimea, of course, he jumped on that one, and they did a referendum. The people of Crimea never, matter of fact, the people of Donbass, the people of Crimea, they didn't want anything to do with Ukraine, and never in their history did they want anything to do with Ukraine. So,
and also, as we said, those little green men that were in Crimea that just turned up, they were actually the Ukrainian army.
That was the Ukrainian army.
20,000 took off their insignias and joined the Russians.
Yeah, they didn't. Even the Ukrainian army didn't want to be a part of Ukraine. So think about that, people. The little green men that they were talking about.
Ukrainians, yes.
Yes. And anyway, when it happened with Gaddafi, there were even U.S. soldiers there when they ambushed, what do you call it, opposition forces, when they ambushed him. And that's documented on film, by the way. And Dave was posting some of the things about Gaddafi that we don't, that's not really broadcast. And I'll add to this before we even get started on that he was going to get some, like the Human Rights Watch, or he's supposed to get some kind of a award, for what he was doing for his country and his people. And, Dave didn't even put that on there, but, it's not part of the thing. So
I didn't know about that.
Oh, I thought, yeah, maybe it was probably the list you were seeing, a list, didn't have it on there. So let's see what happened before the United States brought freedom and democracy and destroyed the country and all that sort of stuff.
The slave market's there now.
Yeah, now there's all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I mean, it is completely unrecognizable from what it was like under Gaddafi.
Guess where all those Africans are coming from to invade Europe.
Yeah, and of course, Gaddafi loved Africans, and he, knew he was part of Africa. Libya was, and he was doing, I guess they called him the father of Africa at that time, launching satellites, bringing the African gold dinar, which is, that was one of the main reasons why the U.S., got their gang to attack, is because it was going to compete, because it was a gold-backed currency like the dollar used to be before 1971, but it would have been much more powerful. Everybody would have flocked to the gold dinar, the African gold dinar. And, there's so many reasons why the U.S. had to attack, they felt. So under Gaddafi, there was no electricity bills. Nobody had to pay anything. The cost for electricity in Libya for its citizens was zero. No electricity bills. That's one thing right there. Incredible.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. No interest rates on citizens taking out loans from the bank. So in other words, when you borrowed money, and in truth, I guess
that's a Muslim.
That's Christian.
Well, that's a Muslim.
That's
thing
Christian
as well.
and Muslim.
Oh, okay.
So what we have today in the West, and even in Belarus and in Russia, those are known as Jewish banks. Jewish banks, and that was one reason why a lot of, in the old days, that people were against Jews, because it was they charge interest. I guess it's called usury or something like that. So you call it, charging interest on loans. And the real Christianity and real Islam, there is no interest on loans. So, so there is actually still Muslim banks, and they have like a fee for a loan, but you don't pay.
I think the banks in England, if you're a Muslim, you don't pay interest on your house.
Yeah, and some banks, not depending on where you got your loan, through the Muslim banks, I guess.
No, I think some of the Western banks as well, if you're a Muslim in England.
I doubt that. But anyway,
I will find
they'd
out.
probably charge them double.
I will find out.
Yeah, no interest
So I
rates
know
on
someone
loans.
was complaining about it.
So banks were state-owned and citizens paid zero interest. All newlywed couples in Libya was given enough money to buy a middle-class apartment to help families, starting families and all that. Education was free, secondary education, going to university and all that. Medical treatment was free of charge, unlike what you think it's like in like Canada and some places like that, where it's actually not really free of charge. Plus, you got to wait for years, and you're dead by the time, if you need some medical treatment, you're dead before you actually can get into the hospitals and things. Really terrible, people say. In most of these countries that say they have free medical care.
HSBC in England's got a Islamic mortgage.
Islamic mortgage.
Yeah, HSBC, one of the big banks.
Yeah, wonder what that is though.
It says
Just
here.
saying
It says here no interest.
No interest.
Hmm.
I'll believe it when I see it. I guess I'll. What is it? Is it to get people to convert to Islam or something?
Yeah, maybe
in England.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's why there's a lot of Muslims there. Okay, they raised the literacy rate from 25%. Only 25% of the people, in other words, could read before he was there, and then during his time, 83%. Those wanting to farm, they got free household appliances, seeds, and livestock. So if you set up a farm, and of course, you talk about the irrigation, we'll get to that too, that actually created more farming. If you were sick and you could not get medical treatment in Libya, the government would fund $2,300 plus accommodation and travel costs to go abroad where you can get treatment. So that's what they call it. If you want a car, the government would finance 50% of the price of the car, I guess, for citizens. Gas cost 14 cents per liter then, or in Libya. Women that gave birth got $5,000 per child. And I guess you got probably a lot of benefits afterwards as well. If you can't find a job after training, the government would pay the average salary until you were able to find work. So whatever average salary it was in Libya, that's what you got paid until you're able to get a job. Oil sales were linked to all citizens' bank accounts. So when oil was sold, everybody got paid. So whenever there was an oil sale, which was all the time, you would be getting money in your bank account. Incredible.
No wonder they got rid of him. What an asshole.
Yeah, what an asshole. I mean, think about that. I mean, all of us, you don't do anything with your bank account, and then you go look one day and you got money there, and then another day and you got more money there, and money keeps coming into your bank account without you even having to put it in there.
How dare you?
I mean, how terrible that is.
Yes.
How terrible that is. Instead of like in Germany, for example, if you have a Girokonto, they charge you every month. So you go one time and then all of a sudden your money's gone, and it's gone. It's like that South Park thing, and it's gone. It's incredible. Look at your bank account and it's gone. It's called a Girokonto, and I guess when you're working, when you have money going in, I think it's like you have to have over 2,000 euros going in per month, and then they don't charge you as long as you have money keep coming in. But if you don't, they charge you. Some other things about Gaddafi, Libya. The country had no debt. 40 loaves of bread. Well, it's like Fladenbrot, I guess they call it.
The flatbread.
Yeah, it's like, what do they call that in I don't know. Anyway, those round bread things, and it's one of them would fill you up. And anyway, 40 of those cost 15 cents. So, in other words, it's almost like saying you can eat for 15 cents a day. Libya created the biggest irrigation project. That's what we were talking about with farming. And I guess some of the names of it was Big Man Project. I remember hearing it was called the Man-Made River. And so they made the desert blossom, and it was supposed to be one of the most sophisticated and, successful and, impressive irrigation projects in the history of the earth.
And NATO blew it up.
Oh, yeah.
Because it could have been used for military.
Yeah, it could have been used for bringing water to the desert could be used for military. Yeah, I mean, isn't that incredible? And you start to figure out why they got rid of Gaddafi, and killing off some projects like that. So it's like, what is Israel doing right now and all?
Also, university was free. I don't know if I got down there. University was free, and you could go overseas and do it as well.
Go overseas too, huh? Wow. It's weird. I remember when Cynthia McKinney, she was Congresswoman from Georgia, and she was there to, investigate what was going on, around that time. She was at the time at the university when the U.S. was bombing the university. The U.S. was bombing the university in Tripoli when she was there, Cynthia McKinney.
Sounds like Israel in Gaza today.
She actually ran for,
Right?
the Green Party. Yeah, yeah, it's Israel, and it's like even like Ukraine. Ukraine, they bomb kindergartens, they bomb schools, and then of course they blame it on Russia. And the Western media is there to cover for them. Yeah, Russia's doing it, And where was this? Just a day or so ago, some apartment building or something somewhere.
Oh, what about today?
They're trying to say that
Today at
Russia did it.
12:15.
Yeah, that's another one. But this time, it's
Oh,
like
do you
they're
want to talk
caught
about it now,
red-handed.
or do you want to talk about it after this?
Yeah, well, we can mention it right now that Israel, I mean, not Israel, that
Israel.
Ukraine bombed people on a beach in,
With cluster weapons.
yeah, with cluster musician.
Cluster musicians.
I'm really screwing. I'm doing Biden
Cluster
today.
musicians.
I'm on Biden.
So they were just sitting there, and all of a sudden, people with trombones and guitars fell
a
on
whole
them.
cluster of them. They dropped them out of the sky. No, they use.
Here comes a
cluster
piano player. Watch out!
yeah, but they cluster munitions. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, incredible.
I've got a Biden song at the end of the show.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get that one too. Maybe that was some of the musicians they were trying to bomb them with. So anyway, Libya had no debt, and because of that, they had 150 billion reserves. What does the U.S. have in debt? How many trillions? I don't even know anymore.
But where's that money?
35
Where's that
trillion?
money? Where's that money?
Oh,
It's frozen in U.S. banks and European banks.
when it's not even
Still.
cold, it's frozen.
Mm.
It's kind of like what they're doing with Russia. Isn't that incredible? You start to look at the West and start to see this pattern. Stealing everybody's money. If you can't, think of a law anymore, you just freeze it. And I'll bet you that it's not frozen. I'll bet you they stole it already. And it's just like Germany wanting their money back from the United States when they kept it in the basement
Oh, the
of
gold.
the New York Federal
gold.
Reserve. They want their gold back. They were keeping like half of it in Paris. And I think they got that back, I think. But anyway, the money they were keeping, the vast majority was in the New York Federal Reserve, which so many countries, they keep their money there under lock and key. That happened after World War II, seeing as, the safest place was at the U.S., And
Operation Iraqi Freedom. All the Iraqi gold got taken by the U.S. as well.
well, even Russia had their gold. They might still have it. That might be some of this money that the U.S. has frozen is Russia's gold that was in the basement of the Federal Reserve. But anyway, Germany, by popular demand in Germany, they wanted it back. And this was under Merkel. And so they made an agreement to get half of it back. And when it came, it was a lower quality of gold. It wasn't the same gold that Germany put there. I think we even talked
It
about
didn't
that.
have the swastika stamped on it?
Nope. Nazi gold. Matter of fact, what's this? Donald Sutherland died, I guess, recently.
Yeah.
And I was saying to somebody that, I was watching some movie, I fell asleep, and it happened to be about Nazi gold. It was Donald Sutherland. It was on some, I don't know, Antarctica or a little Greenland or something, and they were looking at some Nazi base or something and submarines, and it was, I fell asleep, so I can't tell you about it, but it was with Donald
Must have been
Sutherland.
exciting.
Yeah, no, it was because I'm just too tired. I get up too early, and anyway.
It's all that moving the rabbits and the rats.
Yeah, those rabbits, they keep me up at night. Anyway, no, I get up too early in the morning. That's just a weird thing. I guess maybe you call it insomnia. I wake up almost automatically at 3 o'clock in the morning. What the heck is that about? I don't know why. But anyway, as we talked about that, the U.S. moved the gold. Oh, yeah, and somehow I think the gold most of it has disappeared or something. The irrigation system was destroyed and the country reverted into a basket case. Mission accomplished, I guess they would say in the United States. And why is this important, this information important today? I don't know. You see kind of a pattern. I don't know. U.S. goes in there, brings their bullies, their bully gang, and they destroy places and they move on. And set people back to the Stone Age, I guess is that's kind of like what happened to Libya in reality. Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Not only did Gaddafi use Libya's oil wealth to great advantage, so does Russia, and so did Syria, even though Syria had very little. I guess that's why the U.S. has to go after these places. So you can't do good for your country or else the U.S. is going to invade. Incredible. You have to, have the stick, get rid of that carrot, You
have to be a real dictator.
Yeah, and I guess that's, look at Armenia today. I mean,
look at here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they want to get rid of Lukashenko. Lukashenko, look at no resources base. There is no real oil. They have some tiny, teeny little bit, that does nothing insignificant. They have some fresh water, some good drinking water, and
Potash,
a lot of it.
lots of potash.
Yeah. No seaport.
That's fertilizer, but that's fertilizer. That's
Yeah, but it's still a fraction of what Russia has, even
yeah.
potash, and that's just potassium potassium. I'm getting myself not phosphate. Yeah, potassium, and it's for blooming for flowers and stuff like that. It's only one element, of the macronutrients: the NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and phosphate. And then, of course, you need a lot of the little, depending on what you're planting and all that sort of thing, in cobalt and calcium and zinc and all these other kind of things. But the three are, it's just one of the three, like I said. And most of the
showing
reserves.
Off your agricultural knowledge there.
Yes, I love agriculture, but like phosphate, most of that is in a lot of that big deposits are in Morocco, and that's probably why the U.S. has a lot of sway over Morocco. Yeah. Anyway, you said it's already frozen. Yeah. And what about Venezuela? They can't get their gold from the UK either, huh? I mean, this stuff is incredible. I mean, it's like everybody's learning a lesson right now.
Yeah, the UK won't give it back.
You got to stay away from the US, the UK, and these Western countries. They're trying to be as devilish and evil and underhanded and cheating as possible. I wonder if that's why everybody likes Russia and China now, because I guess the West is showing their true colors. Cheat them, treat them mean, keep them keen, steal their money, do everything you possibly can.
Oh, look what they've done to Africa for the past couple 100 years.
Yeah. That's why Africa's kind of saying, well, I kind of think we want to stay with Russia. The other ones that are not, I think there's a few countries, I don't even know which ones they are. It's kind of like they're intimidated. It's like, like an animal when you keep swatting it on the head, bam, 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 and they're afraid to go against massa. And I think there's a few countries in the world. And I tell you, you gotta give a hand to a lot of these countries in Africa and stuff that are now, beginning to chart their own course, make their own friends, and not intimidated. Because I'll tell you what, I would maybe, if I were a leader of a country, I might felt intimidated and like, oh, the U.S. is going to do some mean crap. They're going to poison you. They're going to, bring in some diseases and viruses and things like that if you don't follow their course.
Terrorism.
Yeah, that's another form of terrorism.
No, but even normal terrorism, they seem.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, terrorism turns up.
Yeah, and I mean, that's even part of the psychological warfare stuff that we're going to be talking about here a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. So they're not going to give Venezuela's gold back, not in the time being, unless they put Juan Guaido in.
Yeah, but the opposition in Venezuela's kicked him out. He's not in the party anymore. So
yeah, but
they didn't even want him.
Yeah, there was a guy that was actually behind Juan Guaido. And
maybe
I gotta find out his name.
Maybe Juan can go and marry Juanita in Vilnius.
Yeah, we have Tikhanovskaya. She is Juanita. They call her Juanita Guaido. She's
that's what.
The self-declared leader of Belarus.
Yeah.
She met with somebody from, believe it or not, Armenia, the foreign minister. I think we have some footage. We'll get that later. But anyway.
So I remember that's her name now, Juanita
Guaido.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've
renamed her.
And, you can look back as far as 1953, Iran, with the CIA got rid of Mossadegh. And I think actually in the 70s, I think the U.S. was assassinated a leader, but that's when they used poison. I can't remember what
Congo?
country. Was it in the Congo?
Yeah, they got the first elected
I think
leader.
that was one of the first, obvious assassinations by the CIA. I think it was 1976. And then of course it was Mossadegh, and I think in the same year it was in Guatemala, I guess, 1953. Anyway, those are the CIA's greatest hits, I guess they call it. Yeah, there is a book, actually. It's a book called The CIA's Greatest Hits, and it talks about some of the assassinations. Yes, to get a hold of some oil.
Lubamba was killed on January 17th, 1961.
61. The one I was thinking about was a 76. That was just
the
one
U.S. government attempted to facilitate an election to a pro-Western government, so they knocked him off.
Yeah. They don't meddle in elections. Russia does, even though they have no proof of it ever. You know, like Trump. Trump is a foreign agent of Russia. Everybody's a Russian agent that says Russia is okay.
I got a Trump video as well for later.
Oh, I might have put that one on my thing too.
Huh.
Yeah, probably the same one.
We're playing Trumps?
What's it? Yeah, Trump cards. Yeah.
Trump cards.
What else? Why does U.S. hate Belarus?
Why does the US hate Belarus?
Yeah, I guess that was
because they won't stick their gay
you
shit in.
preempted me already.
Yeah, sorry.
You didn't know that had that in my notes, so
Yeah.
yeah. Expend millions. I think this is what's weird. What we're going to get to here. Okay, the U.S. has expended millions in human resources and things like that. CIA, Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, all these kind of things to try to get control of Belarus. At least the minds, we control your mind. And of course, a lot of that has worked in Belarus, to be honest with you.
But I did talk to a taxi driver the other day, a woman. We were coming back, and I was talking by app.
By app, okay,
by app, yes,
translators.
Yeah, because I don't speak Russian, so I was talking by app, and I said it's concerning that a lot of people here think the West is better, and she said no, they don't, not anymore.
Not anymore.
So there you go.
Everything's starting to sink in now. Thanks to Joe Biden, Thanks to old Joe Biden and Blinken and their crew, people are starting to realize that it's not so great in the West. I mean, of course, I think we're helping out too, showing the you don't see that in Belarus things, people, yes. Drug addicts all over the streets.
At the end of the show.
Yeah, we could have hundreds of these things. You could do a whole show just showing drug addicts and people cutting each other up with machetes and everything like that in the West, And I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, when I was growing up, things like that, maybe it's didn't happen as prevalent, but things were happening like that in the United States too. And it's like you come over here, and it's like, like this stuff is like unheard of here. Schools, things they didn't, like we had knifings in schools and hoodlums and drugs and all that, even in my days, in the 70s and 80s. And it's like, it's very rare, maybe not even happening at all. It's like, do you mean people actually grow up that way over here in Belarus? And it makes you wonder, they don't know what it's like in the West. It's incredible. And I don't know. How can we convince them what it's like? And it's much worse now than it was then. It's incredible. Some people are just completely brainwashed.
ONT Channel 1?
Yeah.
Take us on.
Yeah.
That's the TV stations here.
Yeah, that's one of the TV stations. I think a lot of them are, government funded or at least connected to the government in most ways here.
As we said, they need to do what RT does and have some English-speaking reporters on all these events.
But as I said, government connected.
Duke's available.
Guess what? CNN is government connected. All the other ones
Duke's
in America
available. He's out of a job in a week.
Yes.
He's available to be a reporter.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Give me a call. All of you.
Every one of them.
Fight over me.
Yes.
Get out the machetes. Get out the needle. No, just kidding. Yeah, but it's just amazing. The playbook for Belarus.
His only specified thing that he needs to interview Maria.
Yeah. That's
Speaking of which, subscribe. We need more subscribers so he can.
Actually, I'd like to interview Tertel because he seems fascinating. I would like to find out.
Who's that?
He's the head of the KGB. Oh no, the KGB! Don't say that. But anyway, they just kept the same acronym. And I don't know. Maybe they just never saw any need to change it or something.
You got to change all the letterheads.
Everybody in the West, KGB. Oh no, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So. But they're just normal people like the rest of us. They have a job to do, security of the state and things like that. So
they're probably just as bad as the FBI.
I don't know. No, the FBI, they actually set people up. I remember like these guys from Haiti. I think I mentioned that in one show. They set them up. And these guys, I almost honestly think they did not know, these three guys, that they were going to be blowing up the Sears Tower in Chicago. I think I don't know, after they caught him, I don't think they had the faintest idea that that's what they were getting penned for.
Isn't a couple of years ago the guys that were supposed to be kidnapping the governor of Minnesota, they found out that out of 12 of them, 10 of them are actually FBI guys?
Yeah,
They didn't know each other.
Yeah, see, this is all a bunch of stuff,
Something like that.
crap like that.
Something
They do it in
stupid.
Canada too. All these setups.
Yeah.
It's just right. You know, I thought you were going to talk about the shoe bomber, the underwear bomber, and all these guys. I don't even know what their deal was. Some guy trying to light his underwear on fire or something like that.
Yeah, that was a UK guy in, on the plane.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the shoe bomber.
And it's weird. Somebody they were videotaping these people as they were doing it. Isn't that amazing? What a coincidence. I mean,
good investigative.
You can't
work
make
there.
that stuff up, you know. It's incredible.
Maybe, hey, well, while we're talking about conspiracies, we're going to have a big conspiracy show on August 4th. That's going to be our first one. So if you want to come on the show and not promote, what's the word?
Or just even look at this stuff yourself. I mean, send some messages
in
the chat.
Yeah, send us a chat in that. And if you want to come on and do a 15-minute presentation of a conspiracy theory, August 4th.
But I don't know if we're not going to probably be taking on something like JFK, that kind of thing. I'm going to just and is it it's some of these things like aliens.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I want to do Bigfoot, so I want Bigfoot. So talk about this.
Yeah,
I think that's sort of a deal. You know, like I said, JFK.
9/11.
Lots of people have been there and done that, and things aren't released and all that. Like gas out of your backside or something like that. I think
so August 4th, the conspiracy show, the first one. If you want to be on it, contact us.
Yeah.
Just got to have a 15-minute presentation and we'll discuss it.
Yes. But anyhow, we're talking about this kind of stuff now, and, Gaddafi and how this fits in, and, the PSYOPs, all that kind of stuff. And the U.S.
Mind operations.
Yeah. Operation this and Northwoods, Operation Paperclip, Operation, I don't know. I forgot all these names. What they're called is not any important. Barbarossa, no. But anyway.
Iraqi freedom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All this crap. But they have the playbook for Libya, is of course different than the one for Belarus, and even though there's some similarities,
but
it depends on if you have oil or not.
But his soldiers were on Viagra raping people.
Yeah, that one.
Just like Saddam's soldiers were on Viagra raping people.
Wait a minute,
where
did they first use that? The Viagra thing?
I think it was Iraq. Just like Assad's soldiers are taking Viagra and raping people.
But they didn't throw babies out of incubators.
No, that was only once. They tried that once.
And everybody knows that was the daughter of the leader of Kuwait. They were just making it up.
They're saying that about Russia?
Babies out of incubators?
No, the Viagra.
The
sanctions. They can't get Viagra. The sanctions, maybe.
Oh yeah. Okay, so they can't do that. They can't get it. So
they can't get it. So
maybe from China.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
generic from India. Generic Viagra.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Jeez. You never know. So and they did say rape. They've been saying, "Oh, Russians are raping," and this kind of thing. There probably is some sort of incidents, maybe somewhere that you can find it, but I don't know. Anyway, you don't want to get into that stuff anyhow.
Yeah, but it seems to be always every time.
But like when we're talking about why they go in and what's things they're going to use, like Libya, they went there for the oil anyway. Belarus doesn't have any oil, and they're not here for the natural resources. They're here because it's a springboard into Russia.
They're here because they want to bring in LGBT plus stuff.
Just because they want to do that. No, but I think that's just a thing. I think that's just a means of control. I think that's why they're forcing it on Africa, and Africa says we don't want any of that stuff, and they said you will take it. You will accept LGBT.
You will have gay sex.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, what the heck does that have to do?
Break the families up.
Yeah,
the family unit.
Yeah. Actually, that's a very good not even a theory. It's probably very true. And I think they've even probably come out and said that. Man, terrible stuff. This evil that's coming out of the West. I don't know.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes. And it's, the demon is coming to get you, the master of the universe. Yeah. Like I said, Belarus doesn't have a seaport. It's like, what the hell do they want in Belarus? They just want it as a springboard, desperately. And then they want to surround Russia, get close to Russia, neutralize Russia, go in, get their resources, break it all up into pieces, like 30 countries.
Well, Lukashenko said that, didn't he? He said they're coming for Russia through us.
Yeah. And it's I mean, it's obvious anyway. In Ukraine, it's the same deal. Everybody knows this stuff. And
Armenia.
mm-hmm.
Well, they're not
Yeah,
close.
yeah, Armenia.
They're not close, but
Well, no, they don't share a border, but they're close to the border, and they share a border with Iran, Azerbaijan, and what do they also have a border?
Georgia.
Georgia, I think. Yeah, yeah, and they want Georgia, and Georgia
has got a
well, it has
border.
it has a border with South Ossetia, which is, actually part of Russia. Always has been part of Russia. Actually, it's I don't know if it was like administratively part of Georgia under Soviet Union times, but as you remember, Stalin is from Georgia. This is all a bunch of messed up stuff. Anyway, everything would be fine if the U.S. wasn't meddling in all this. And remember 2008, when they had this little skirmish there. And first it got kicked off. It was during the Olympics. Putin was there. George Bush was there in, in China. I think it was Beijing. And wow, what a strange time to have the Georgian peacekeepers kill the Russian peacekeepers and then invade South Ossetia. Oh, no, but it was Russia's fault. People don't know about that they killed the peacekeepers and then went full. And they even had drone tanks with nobody in, somebody sitting way back 100 miles away, operating that with a keyboard and all that, and going in and shooting up. And I think they killed 3,000 people before Russia actually sent military in, and the military was in disastrous shape, but they still were victorious over Saakashvili, which is Yale educated in the United States.
Where's he these days?
Leader. He's in prison. You know where he's in prison?
Ukraine?
In Georgia.
Oh.
He went to Ukraine, and they gave him, I think he was
a mayor or something.
Mayor of Odessa, and they were fighting all in the Rada, I guess, all the time anyway, and all of them were speaking Russian. That was the language they all hated Russia, and they told the people you're not allowed to speak Russia, but they spoke Russian in the government. That was the official. It wasn't the official language, but it was the language that they used because they couldn't otherwise understand each other, so they had to speak Russian. Yeah, and then he was doing corruption over there as well, and I think he went back. I think he was trying to get control of Georgia, because I think they kicked him out the first time, and then the second time, I guess they locked him up. But also, I think they weren't sympathetic at all to Russia in those days, which was very strange. And now they are, I believe, very sympathetic to Russia, Georgia, which I can't understand how that happened. So
because most of their trade was with Russia. They see which side their butter is bred.
Yeah, yeah.
Buttered, I should say. Butter's bread.
And even after 2000, it's not like Russia went in there to take over. They didn't take over anything. They didn't, and it's just like Ukraine. They had no intention. I'll tell you what, Ukraine is forcing Russia to take over parts of Ukraine. The Minsk agreement was supposed to leave Donbass and Zaporozhye, and Kherson as part of Ukraine, whether they liked it or not. And, but Ukraine wanted Crimea. It's because America wants Crimea, because that's how they want to control. And I've known that for a long time. And I've talked to, I think Jeffrey Sachs even finally admitted it. I'm just wondering why a lot of the other people don't talk about it. If I was Scott Ritter, I'd be talking about it all the time. He certainly must know that. But anyway, the whole goal, militarily anyway, is to get Crimea, because then by Crimea, the U.S. believes they can control Russia. So,
and as we mentioned before, they attacked Crimea today.
Yeah.
We'll go on to that
later.
later.
And even Boris Johnson, Crimea, that's interesting. They act as if, maybe we should get Crimea. But even England has wanted Crimea for a long time. Anyway, the West wants Crimea. That is the main goal. And that is one thing that Russia says, that's not at all ever going to be in negotiations. So.
Yep.
And the people never wanted to be part of Crimea either. I remember back in the days, in the 70s, people were protesting all over in Crimea that they wanted to be a part of Russia, even back then. Incredible. So let's see, where are we going here? Where am I at? So as much like, anyway, so they wanted Belarus, and that was supposed to happen before Ukraine. They wanted to take Belarus before they took Ukraine. That was part of the plans of the United States. Yeah, but Lukashenko, he's just a damn stubborn guy. Why didn't he just let us take over the country? Why didn't he just do like we want him to? Damn him anyway. So anyway, they Oh,
And that's because 99% of the country didn't want to go, essentially.
Oh. Well, anyway, Lukashenko's
No, because they
not
know
letting it
that
happen.
they know that all these factories and all that would be lots of unemployment, because they would just sack everybody and make them westernized, and there'd be a lot of people unemployed, and prices would go up, and
Oh, tell you what,
gay sex would start.
yeah, gay sex. Everybody, if you're gay, And anyway, you look at like when you're talking about what you pay for an apartment. I think most all the costs, what we pay in the summertime, is actually like 25. And I don't even. Anyway, it's very, very,
Did you
very
see
low.
the
It's
list
almost
of
nothing.
256 cities? So the top one was, the top ones are Zurich and London and all that sort
Expensive,
of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
In Europe,
Yeah. And so there's 200, and it goes down to 256. 256 is the cheapest. It takes into account wages, expenses, living, like
Cost of food
rents.
and everything.
Yeah,
too?
everything. So even your wages, so even if they're low, right? Belarus is 212.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very, very affordable place to live.
Yeah, and I heard it was actually overall, maybe it was the best, one of the best
Well,
places.
yeah,
I mean, what did they say? What category? I think I saw something like that. Anyway, Minsk is leading in a lot of things, and they mention Minsk quite a bit because it's like,
It's a
but a
nice
lot of
city.
stuff
It's a nice city.
they don't even put in that. For example, Minsk is rated the cleanest city in Europe, and what else is there? Like lowest crime, I think, in Europe is maybe Minsk. And I don't even think they talk about like corruption. So I mean, everybody has their own view of what is corruption, and maybe the things that they accuse Belarus of. Corruption here. It's like stuff that it's not really even true. In the West they can make up anything to make anybody look bad. So I think they
here when they do find someone doing something, they arrest them.
Yeah, Lukashenko arrested his own doctor. I mean, like when you start doing something, and who was the guy they just caught the other day? And he had $3 million US.
The guy who was running the trains here.
Something to do with some logistics, right?
Yeah, but he was running the train system or something. One of the top guys.
He was. He wasn't in charge of the train, but he was in charge of some aspect of train. I don't know if it was logistics.
$3 million US cash in his house.
Yeah, and he had it in his dacha, I guess, right? His apartment, he didn't have it, but then they went to his dacha, and $3 million US. Incredible.
He's going to jail for a long time.
Wow. But I remember they were arresting some people here. They had like a room in their house, or maybe their dacha or whatever, and they had like a lot of bottles of alcohol, like rum and this and whiskey maybe and stuff like that. So that's what one of the things of trading commodities is like getting this alcohols and stuff like that. And you can come here, by the way, and you can bring 3 liters of any kind of alcohol, I guess.
Each.
Yeah, each. If you come with your wife, or maybe even with a kid. I'm sure the kid isn't going to be drinking.
Yes, my 5-year-old drinks 3 liters of vodka.
Yeah, probably adults anyway, I guess.
When I was flying here all the time, I used to bring 3 liters all the time.
Yeah. I came here some years ago, and I had more than that. I think you just have to pay duty or something if you bring more. I had a heavy bag full of a bunch of, but I had wine in there and stuff like that too. So, but I don't know if that's part of it.
Duke's a secret alcoholic.
Yeah, but it was like for my relatives and stuff back in those days.
Yeah, sure.
What are you trying to say? Yeah. So anyway, the U.S. they took control of the government in in Ukraine in 2014. As all of us have heard, the audio tapes of Victoria Nuland admitting this, as much as she even admitted. She admitted not that long ago, while she was still in the State Department and like deputy or whatever, that the U.S. will not give up trying to overthrow the government of Belarus. This was, I don't know, was it about a year ago she said that? She's not there anymore. I don't know, can't remember who the guy's in charge now. She moved to something else.
Yeah, she's at the university with Hillary.
Yeah.
Columbia.
Really? Okay. Teaching our kids to be corrupt, I guess.
To be monsters.
Yes. Now we have the first media thing. The second after Gaddafi. Here we have one. The USAID. for Ukraine. This is another. This just happened some days ago. Incredible. It's just a. Did I put that photo in there?
Nope.
Damn, I didn't put a photo of USAID. It's just a thing. Anyway, okay, forget it then. In line with the U.S. announced a few days ago that they earmarked 1.5 billion US dollars of taxpayers' money, by the way, to fund Ukraine's civil society. In other words, a lot of this is it's not just, you know, some of it is going to go to wages, I guess, to pay some wages of people working for the government, but 1.5 billion, and but it's also other things like you know, covert sort of things that the U.S. government does. That's why they're doing it right now, and a lot of let's see, the word is out that the U.S. wants to remove Zelensky. I don't know if this, I mean, a lot of people are talking, is this rumor, is this true? You know, if it was, you know, they're coming out and admitting it officially, he'd probably be gone already. But what they're trying to do apparently is you know, that Russia is going to be victorious in Ukraine, and I think everybody admits that. And the United States looks at this as, oh, that's going to be the end of NATO, but it's if Russia looks at this, oh, it's going to be the end of Russia, kind of.
Why has USAID got a brain there? Is that because it's a psychological operation?
Yeah, that's probably right. I never thought about that.
Yeah, look.
That's the brain. It's two hemispheres of the brain.
Yeah.
And what's inside there?
One side looks it's gay.
Wrenches?
Yeah, one's guy's mechanical, the other side's gay.
Yeah, like got about LGBT stuff, or like it's twisted.
So why's the logo got a brain? Anyway.
Looks like storm, I don't know. I never thought of that. That is really something.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, there is a big theory that's going on that they're going to try to pin the loss to Russia on Zelensky, that they lost.
Well, that's why what's
that Ukraine lost, not the West. That Ukraine lost because of Zelensky. That's what they're going to. That's the deal.
Of course.
And they're going to try to convince mainly the Ukrainian people that, but it's going to go on the internet, so everybody's going to be seeing this. So that. So it's not the U.S. at all. So normally they declare victory. I don't know, what did they do in Afghanistan when they left there?
We won, we're leaving.
Yeah, is that what they did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we won, we're leaving.
Like Vietnam. So
yeah.
This is going to be a little bit different.
In Vietnam, just get on that last helicopter on top of the roof. We're leaving. We won.
Yeah, this will be different. It's going to be, we're not involved, but Zelensky lost.
Mission accomplished.
And they're going to say, we never said anything about the freedom and democracy is going to come to an end if whatever. You know, I don't know how they're going to whitewash this kind of stuff. But anyway, they're putting a lot of money into this. So, and who knows? So, you know what's strange?
What's strange?
Lukashenko. We can probably find that. I don't know, not here, but if you look, he was saying this. I think about a year ago, he was saying Zelensky's going to come to kind of, I don't know his exact words. It's not so severe as saying a bad end, but it's not going to end very nice for him because they're going to scapegoat him, I think. He said that, which is incredible. You know, I remember that. Luckily, my memory is a little bit better than Joe Biden's. You know, and that time he was riding high. Zelensky, you know, everybody was at his feet.
Mission accomplished.
Oh, there he is. That's Joe Bush, George Bush.
War criminal number 4526.
Yeah, that's his cell number. Yeah. But anyway, Zelensky was still riding high when Lukashenko said that. So it's like, I don't know. I can't remember what everybody was saying at that time, and nobody was even conceiving that that was going to be the case. But it's getting close now. You know, I'm not saying Lukashenko's a prophet, but I'd love to ask him about it. You know, like how did he know this? And like I said, everything's pointing that way right now.
So you're saying that you want to interview the president of Belarus?
Yeah. That should happen, right? Go out for a beer.
Yeah.
Pick up some women. You know, I can be his wingman.
Chop some wood.
Yeah, Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's right. You know, wood chop. Yeah, we can chop some wood, and then That's after drinking, heavy night drinking and getting snookered. He'll be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, bam, chopping that wood. I'll be throwing up probably. No, I don't. I'm not into that
Getting
stuff.
your pump stomach.
I'm not saying he
stomach
is. I'm
pump.
just saying like the Russians maybe you do. Yeah. Yes.
So now what's on your list? Director of the KGB.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maria Zakharova.
Zakharova.
And President Lukashenko.
Yeah. Ask him about that.
Okay.
So.
Anybody out there got any links into those three?
Yeah.
Duke's ready.
Got the phone numbers? Something.
Phone numbers.
Email address.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so the 1.5 billion. That's a lot of money to do. That's for USAID, and the USAID, as everybody knows, that's a CIA sort of a thing too.
What isn't?
Yeah, everything that has to do with foreign stuff. And it's what was it? They put up advertisements, the USAID, and it will be like they're trying to get people that are for soliciting assistance for communication support activities. Think about what that's supposed to mean. I don't know.
In brackets, sneaky bastards.
Yeah, get some sneaky bastards. Communication support activities. Communication support activities. Stupid. Listen to that. I'm in another. What the hell do you mean by that? Communication support activities. You can throw out all kinds of things and say what the communication support activities, torture, anything. Think about it. Public awareness raising campaigns.
Is that what Juanita is?
You could say that, yeah. And a public awareness raising campaign. You can say that's what she's even doing right there too. Yeah. All of this stuff, communication support activity.
She's got several hats.
I mean, look at this crap. It's like a sanitation engineer, a janitor or something. Yeah, among other duties as well as seeking influencers and photographers. They're also looking for influencers and photographers. Photographers. Now that is something you can figure out. Somebody takes a camera and takes a picture of something. But it's probably what they want is people to, I don't know. I'm not saying they wanted people to photograph people in their underwear in compromising positions. And translators.
I thought you were going to say trans people.
Trans photographers. Yeah, no, translators. There used to be a ban on government agencies creating propaganda, There was one in the United States. It was a ban, and they lifted that ban in 2013 under Barack Obama. So you can use propaganda and creating propaganda and all that stuff. They made it legal. Incredible. Very quietly. Shh.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. But anyway, this is all aimed mostly at Ukrainians and online, and Americans will also be exposed, obviously.
I'm sure they want Georgians as well.
Yeah. If I'm talking about this, Russia already knows, and Russians will also be exposed to whatever information they'll be putting up. But anyway, Russia will know it's coming. So who knows how this is going to roll out? It's just like, I'm just saying that's a theory about doing this stuff about Zelensky, because that's what they're talking about. A lot of people are suspecting that's what this 1.5 billion is mostly aimed at. Let's see, 1.5 billion is a lot of money considering, like I said, they used only a couple 100,000 against Belarusians over the course of some years. So that just lets you know how much 1.5 billion is. So no more than a few 100 million up to 2.
It's always good for a country to kick all the NGOs out.
Yeah.
Get rid of them.
Yep. And the big push here in Belarus was 2020. Everybody knows that's when Tikhanovskaya Guaido, Juanita, when she was trying to make her thing there. And the odd thing is, if you talk to people, some people were protesting and all that, but they said they never vote for her. And they didn't vote for her then, and they'd never vote for her. And it makes you really wonder, what the heck? I remember even seeing advertisements for Belarusians and Russians, and I think they get some training. You go to like Vilnius and Riga and places like that, and they train you how, it's just like they were just doing in Georgia. They train you how to organize protests and do this sort of stuff. Isn't it this sick when you see how sick this stuff is, and they make it look like it's spontaneous? It's absolutely incredible. So anyway, and we can't forget. Remember, 2022, they wanted to assassinate Lukashenko. They caught the guys, and yeah, that was something. I was here. Were you here in 2022? I think that.
Excuse me. Yes, I was here.
That was a signal. That was a signal. I know you were signaling. That was just good.
No, I was coming and going.
Okay.
I wasn't here full time.
Okay. About that time.
Yes, I was only here winter and summers.
You might be one of the
instigators. Yes.
That's why you're running this show. So.
Yes. Well, what is it? Information something? Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. But they wanted to. I think they wanted to do it during the parade in 2022. It was on May 9th or something like that. And his entire family. What a bunch of nice guys. Jeez. And Russia found out. They they have recordings of these guys. You know, plotting this thing out
in February too.
And then they said, "Oh, we were just kidding." I can't remember what their
February 2021 too. They were going to try and have a coup as well.
February 22?
No, 21.
2021. Let me think. I don't think I know about that
one.
Yeah,
there was a coup. They wanted to do a coup then as well.
No, that was before my time. Wow.
Because 2020 August was the first protest.
That's incredible. I wonder how Lukashenko's
I think by
keeping up with
by
all
the end of
stuff.
2021 there was 2 attempted color revolutions and 1 attempted coup.
Wow. I remember if you read that book, not Every Spy a Prince, that's a different one. By Way of Deception, you know, the guy was talking about, that's during the, you know, he talks about how you get trained for being Mossad and all that kind of stuff. And of course they're trying to kill this guy. I don't know if they ever did. I haven't been following what's going on. This Victor something Ski. Anyway, the guy who wrote it, By Way of Deception. And they talked about like Yasser Arafat. He was like a cat with 9 lives. They tried to assassinate him so many times. You know, he'd go through windows and all that. And when they finally got him, I think he was locked up in what was the city in this thing? And he was like,
some say he was poisoned by plutonium or something.
Yeah. That's how they finally got him. They killed him with poisons. I think they were slowly poisoning him. When they had him locked up in some place, they wouldn't let him out. I don't know how it is. Israel or something had the place surrounded. I can't even remember that. That's actually worth revisiting. It's interesting. So, I mentioned here the parade and stuff. USAID is banned in many countries of South America, such as Cuba, Venezuela, Bolivia, Ecuador, as it is used to as a tool of covert subversion. It may become banned in Georgia, you know, because of this recent stuff too, obviously. Russia expelled USAID in 2012 after a huge amount of emails leaked showing in-depth cooperation of U.S. agencies and opposition groups, you know, and
it was on WikiLeaks.
Things. I don't know. Did they put that on WikiLeaks? 2012. I don't know if Assange was locked up by that time. Been locked up for quite a while. And related to this is
but WikiLeaks is still going.
Yeah, but you don't hear about them so much anymore. I don't know why. But anyway, related to this is the regular old psyops. We have a video with Matthew Miller, and he's telling everybody like to stay out of Russia. So listen to this. This is a psyop in and of itself. You know, he says you're gonna get locked up. You know, the ones that are locked up are actually guys that had spying. They were spying and they were caught red-handed and bringing drugs in and things like that. But he's telling everybody stay out of Russia. Psyop. There we go. Here, listen to him. Because old Matt Miller can't give us any examples of U.S. citizens being detained when they did nothing wrong. There's no such thing.
Video.
Why not?
Because he didn't put it on.
Which ones are on there then?
I'm just telling you. Technical issue. I'll find it. Just talk and I'll find it.
I think I even put a number.
Just talk and I'll find it.
Okay. Wow. Anyhow, actually, I can't be. Well, I'll just let's see what else do I want to say.
Hang on.
You did find it, huh?
No.
But anyway, there's this stuff is always coming.
Can you give me your USB thing?
Mm-hmm. There is there was actually
It might be another technical issue by me.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I didn't copy it over.
Oh, the file completely. But there was a lot of anyway, they've already done this in Belarus. I think the U.S. Matter of fact, let me think which agency. I think it was Radio Free Europe. Yeah, and that was in a publication. They said,
"No, you've got
get out of Belarus."
Nope.
That's very strange.
You go from number 1 to number 10, so you're missing out from 2 to obviously 9.
I wonder how in the heck they didn't get on there then.
Duke's upset. You can see that.
Oh, there's probably something wrong with that flash drive or something.
No, it looks all right.
Because I had it. So, oh man.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
You just talk, I'll find it.
Yeah, because the next ones are going to be gone too then. And it's like some mobilization videos and... Manometer. So, anyway, I already told you about...
Is this the one he's talking about, ancient history?
Who's that?
Matt Miller?
I don't know.
What was he talking about, you said?
Ancient history? I don't think so. Ancient history. Let me think. Did he say something? You can play whatever you have. If you have one that says that, maybe it's the same one. Because he was talking with the other guy named Matthew, that reporter that always asked him the tough questions.
Oh, yeah.
The guy with the glasses. I don't even know which publication that guy is from. But, yeah, whatever. Play the ancient history one. I don't know what that is. Ancient history.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see if that's it.
On this, we talk about the UN Charter and the territorial sovereignty and territorial integrity. What's the U.S. record on that with regard to Vietnam?
So,
he's talking with Biden
obviously,
too.
we're involved in a conflict in Vietnam many years ago. Ancient history, and we are glad to see the.
Well, it's not so ancient. I was alive during it.
Yeah.
Maybe not others were, but but it's not ancient. It's not ancient.
I wasn't trying to insult you, Matt. Just to be clear. That said,
look, I mean, we have in the early 1960s, the U.S. actually went into
somebody
Vietnam
at work asked me if I was in Vietnam
and stayed there until 1975.
I am full aware of the long historical record between our two countries, and in the years since, you have seen a broad reconciliation between our countries and between our two people.
But when you say that you want the Russians to respect the UN Charter as it relates to Vietnam, and
I was speaking as it respects to Ukraine, with respect to
Ukraine. Anywhere.
Yeah.
As it relates to Vietnam, you don't exactly have the best record.
So,
right?
As usual, I'm not going to litigate the full history of American foreign policy from the podium, especially as a representative of an administration that has been in charge for 3.5 years. I think I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, that's not the one. Boy, I tell you, I don't know, something that might, I don't know if I had that on that for last show or whatever and we didn't play it. I'm not sure. Oh, gosh, damn. Why is it that sometimes this stuff, and I even made sure I looked at it and then I recorded it and then I looked at it again.
Which one, what was Matt saying?
Well, he was basically telling all Americans not to go to Russia. Okay. Don't go to Russia. You'll get locked up. You have the risk of getting locked up or I don't know. It's all kinds of bad things can happen to you. He's trying to make everybody think that
like the sign,
like what they told us about Russia and the Soviet Union.
Like the sign on the Lithuanian border.
Yeah. That's just psyop stuff. I mean, it says, "Don't go to Belarus. You may not be able to come back," or whatever it says there. Oh my God! This stuff is just incredible. And anyway, I had some other videos. Actually, there was one, and it was a photo, and you might even have that one about that guy that blew himself up trying to get into Belarus. The taxi driver wouldn't bring him to the border.
No, I didn't even know about it.
There was a taxi driver, and he's talking. Somebody is interviewing him, I guess, and they have his face blurted out, and the guy that's interviewing him, his face blurted out as well. But anyway, this guy wanted to I guess he's trying to get away from mobilization, and he asked the taxi driver to bring him to the border. And they were in Bucha, where they came up with that lie and they said that Russia killed all those people or whatever. And they were in Bucha, and this guy wanted to go and seek refuge in Belarus. And the taxi driver said that he's not going to take him. He can take him to the bus stop, and that's it. And the guy said he has nothing else to lose, and he was in the taxi car, and the taxi driver, saw him take out a grenade, and he pulled the pin, and the taxi driver got out in time, but the guy blew himself up in his car. And then they show a picture of his car afterwards, and, window blown out, and, spots of blood and shrapnel all over the place. So anyway, that's how that was. So anyway, that was a guy, he didn't, strange, he killed himself because he didn't want to die. I don't know if that makes sense, but too bad all these videos are not there. There are those that are, they have another video. There's a guy with a baby. He's got a baby carriage. He's pushing a baby carriage, and the mobilization officers are mobilizing him with a baby carriage. I don't know. There's a woman somewhere by there too, and I don't know if that was his wife. But anyway, there's like 4 of them, and they wrestle him down and taking him off to the meat grinder as well. Sure, it's too bad all these videos. No. Then we have a video. You might have this one because you probably have this one. Trump on Ukraine.
Yes.
Okay.
But I've cut it up. I've got something slightly different, so we'll play that.
Okay.
So I've got one of Trump talking about Ukraine, then about
Nigel Farage?
No, Taiwan, and also China. So let's see, Mr. Trump.
I had one back-to-back. First Trump and then Nigel Farage on Ukraine.
Yeah, I've got that one as well. So we'll do that one. Ready?
Yeah.
Ukraine is now, I read the other day where they don't have the soldiers, they don't have the manpower, they want to use children, they want to use old people, very old people, people that are not really perhaps equipped to fight. They're not doing
the average
well.
age of their soldier is like 43 now. So they're they're literally running out of people.
Biden was saying all of the wrong things. And one of the wrong things, he was saying, no, Ukraine will go into NATO. That's one of the many things he said. When I listened to him speak, I said, this guy is going to start a war. Because as you know, for 4 years, there was never even talk of Russia going into Ukraine. That would have never happened. Russia was not going to attack Ukraine. It's a border. And it's always been, I don't think that they would have, if they thought that that was going to remain sort of a territory where you don't have NATO, but they don't want to have soldiers right on their border. They don't want to have it. It's always been understood, and that's even before Putin. It's always been understood that that was a no-no. But that was very provocative. And now it's even more provocative. And they're talking about, I hear routinely, they're now talking about Ukraine entering NATO. And now I hear France wants to go in and fight. Well, I wish them a lot of luck. Toward the end of my term, there was a lot of big stories that there was no terror going on because Iran didn't have the money. They had to survive. We would have made a deal good for everybody. Everybody would have been happy. The main thing is Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That was my main thing. The deal was a simple deal. Iran can't have a nuclear, it can't have a missile, can't have a nuclear missile. It cannot have that nuclear capability. Other than that, we talk about everything. They would have been very happy. It would have been fine. And you would have had peace in the Middle East. The problem is I had them at a point where you could have negotiated. A child could have made a deal with them. And Biden did nothing. I think it's not inevitable. I think it's unlikely. I know President Xi very well, and we got along great until COVID. Then I wasn't so happy with him because they gave it to us. I said it came from the Wuhan lab. I was right about that. But I think it's high. If you have the right president, we can live at peace with China. We can do very well with China, compete with China. But we don't have the right president right now. He's not respected by China. He's being laughed at by China. And he's a Manchurian candidate. I mean, he's received money from China, his family. And that makes him, to me, somebody that shouldn't be negotiating. He's got a conflict of interest. But no, I don't see war with China as being inevitable at all.
Yeah, Wuhan lab, funded by Fauci. that was actually it was an American lab, but on Chinese soil. I don't even know if China knew what was going on there. And you remember Trump had terrible foreign policy as well, so a lot of that stuff was BS that he was talking about there. It's just it's a little bit better than Biden. Biden just didn't know what was going on. You know, you'd have to listen to different parts of what Trump was saying and then pick it apart and show that he's wrong, like Iran. You know, Iran has not been trying to make a nuclear weapon, and they've been saying that for decades. And Netanyahu has been saying since the 1980s, Iran is 1 month away from having a nuclear bomb. I wonder when he stopped. I think it was like maybe 8 years ago he stopped saying that. You know, remember when he had that fake cartoon thing? It was a bomb, and he said, "Look they're this close from having a nuclear bomb."
UN.
Yeah, and he's been saying that since the 1980s. You know, and Iran kept saying, we're not trying to make a nuclear bomb. They did have a program, I guess, at one point in time to see if they could, but not that they were going to, even back then. So much stuff, that misinformation about Iran over and over and over again, just like misinformation about Belarus over and over and over again. So that's one reason why probably we don't get very much promotion on a lot of these channels, because, you know, we're not supporting the lie.
So it's your fault.
Yes. So you had Farage on there, because it's
that guy.
Yeah, Nigel Farage. Of course, he's probably going to have twist things a little bit too, but anyway, he's smarter than most all the other ones anyway. But
the European Parliament in 2014, and I said, and I quote, "There will be a war in Ukraine." Why did I say that? It was obvious to me that the ever eastward expansion of NATO and the European Union was giving this man a reason to his Russian people to say they're coming for us again and to go to war.
But you were echoing him.
I was sorry.
You were echoing him. That's what Putin says.
No. Sorry, I've been saying this actually since the 1990s, ever since the fall of the wall. But hang on a second, we've provoked this war. It's of course it's his fault. He's used what
but we provoked the invasion of Ukraine.
We provoked the war, but it's
once again 10 years ago when I predicted this. By the way, I'm the only person in British politics that predicted what would happen. And of course, everyone said I was a pariah for daring to suggest it. George Robertson, former Labour cabinet minister, who went on to become the Secretary General of NATO, has in the last couple of weeks said the war is a direct result of EU expansionism.
So he's been taking flack for telling the truth, the obvious truth that that so many people have been saying for years and years. Gosh, it's incredible. You will lie, or you are going to be slammed. It's similar to the U.S., but it's like Ron Paul. Remember Ron Paul telling the truth, talking about blowback and all that kind of stuff, and then everybody, well, not everybody, the establishment jumped on him, and then Ron Paul became far more popular than anybody running for president, and they had to take him down. That's how that works. Yes, indeed. Sunak's approval rating. You probably don't have that. That's probably one of the ones that were deleted as well.
We have that one.
Is it? Yeah, I had it, but I don't know.
No, we have got it.
Oh, you have? So is this? This must be number 10 on mine.
Number 10. Oh,
so this is where we start having my stuff that I put.
But I've got a video from him as well after this, so if you want to watch that.
Okay. Actually, I just had two: approval.
There you go.
1 and approval 2. Yeah, interesting stuff. Boris Johnson was 70.
He's just almost close to Liz Truss, the lettuce lady.
So Liz Truss has the red people. That signifies how unfavorably people looked at him. She was up at 80%. 80%, I guess, of the people surveyed did not like Liz Truss. 10% did. And Boris Johnson, 72% didn't like him, and 19% did. Rishi Sunak, Jeremy Corbyn, of course, he was never the, he was never the prime minister, but he is 72, so he's leading this pack as far as almost in favorability. But Richie Sunak, 75% of the people apparently surveyed did not.
It's only
approve.
It's only 3% difference to Boris Johnson.
Yeah, not much. But the 19 is the same. Boris Johnson and Richie Sunak, 19% approve. So he's about the same, actually. I don't know if that's good or bad. All of them look bad to me. I wonder how Farage would. I'll bet you he would stack up much, much better than all those. Yes, indeed. We haven't.
Well, the reason they don't like him, he must be trying to lose the election because.
Yeah, definitely.
Listen to this.
National service will be compulsory. The military option will be something that people choose to do.
Oh, I see. So how will you make people do it?
Sorry?
If national service is going to be compulsory, how will you make people do it?
Well, you'll have a set of sanctions and incentives, and we will look at the models that are existing around Europe to get the appropriate mix of those. There's a range of different options that exist.
For example?
There's all sorts of things that people do across Europe, whether that's looking at driving licenses, other access to finance, all sorts of other things. The right thing to do is to allow...
Access to finance? So if people don't want to do national service, what, you're going to take their bank cards away?
No, there's access. there's lots of different models around Europe. There's lots of different models around Europe. This is being done in multiple countries in Europe.
I don't doubt it. I'm just asking you what you think.
So there's a range of things, and we will have a royal commission look at all of those, come back to the government and recommend what the appropriate mix of incentives and sanctions is.
I'm sure he's trying to lose the election.
Yeah, coming down with that right at an election. That's not something you do at an election. Say, yo, we're going to draft people. That's only when you want to lose. So, but there was I think I had another thing, but it was very similar. The Sunak approval rating, number 2, but no big deal. Yeah, but anyway, war does not seem to be very popular at the moment. Do you have that? No, it's not much of a video, but it's a march in Kaiserslautern that I had.
Germany?
Yep.
This one?
Yeah. Stoppt Rammstein. That's Rammstein Air Base.
Not the band?
Yeah.
Stop the band.
We're all living in America. That's one of their songs, right?
Is it?
Yeah. America. Yeah, Rammstein, been there many times. Matter of fact, right by there is, that's, of course, the main town is Kaiserslautern, and that's that underground base that I was telling you about. America, if a war kicks off, that's where all the top generals and everybody go, and that's like a big command center. They wouldn't even let me in there, I had to wait outside. But it's like on a winding road, and it's kind of weird, and you have trucks and things. So I said, how do these trucks? There's not even another road, but it's hardly anybody on that road. It's just going to that place mostly, and it's through some woods and winds around and around and around. And then all of a sudden you come to this area, and there's a big, huge rock with a big opening in there and trucks and everything in front. And it's kind of impressive. But, if I was like I am right now, I would have taken a picture of it. Krieg ist whatever. Frieden ohne NATO. Respekt. Deutschland raus aus der NATO. Germany, get out of NATO. Freedom for Julian Assange, probably.
Yep.
But I don't know. I probably didn't put that one in there. Damn. Yeah, there was a guy I was going to put in there, and that one I did forget. It's oh gosh, I don't think I put him in here.
No.
There's a guy that's oh no, I do have that one. This is different. I thought I just missed that.
No, you're up to Juanita.
There is a you have the Juanita Guaido, right?
This one?
Yeah, there she is.
She's looking Mexican now.
Yeah, she is. Just because we've been talking about. Sorry. She switched to tennis shoes. I don't know. It's very strange.
It's
Yeah,
I won't say anything.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
That's a personal attack.
That's a personal attack. That's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. Yes, but she
shouldn't say anything about her weight.
She led,
Hey?
huh?
Should say nothing about her weight.
No, because if you say that she's fat, then she will, I mean, getting fatter and fatter all the time, then, that's a personal attack. So you can't say that. So don't say it.
Don't say that. That she's living very well.
Don't say it.
You can say she's living very well.
Yeah, that she's making trips abroad all over the place. And here she is with the Armenian foreign minister, Armenia, which is a country that should not be doing what they're doing. And the people there are not very happy with their president. I can't remember his name.
There's protests there
Pashinyan or something.
saying the government to resign, right?
Yeah, they want him out. They want that guy. And of course, this is the foreign minister, but I don't know. But the U.S. is bound and determined. They're starting to say, we're going to give you mountains of gold. I think, as a matter of fact, that was the words that I think Dmitry Medvedev said, that they're going to give mountains of gold. So,
no, it's not a good photo. I was just seeing what sort of watch she's got.
Probably a Rolex or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, the meeting that she was trying to actually overthrow the government here in 2020 was put down. And actually, she wasn't kicked out, but she ran out. And she may as well.
She was escorted.
Was she?
They escorted her all the way to the border in case something happened to her and they would get blamed. So they escorted her all the way to the border and handed her over to the Lithuanians.
Okay. Yeah, because she wanted to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just in case something happened and they would get blamed. So they're like, okay, we'll take you all the way.
But I think in absentia, I think they did blame her for some. I can't remember for what the charge was, but I think like several months later. Actually, she could have stayed for quite some time and then left because, they had to find something she was guilty of. And I guess they did.
Overthrowing the government?
Yeah, well, that's what she was trying to do. Yeah. I think that's what it was.
Creating a coup?
That's what it was. That's what it was, probably, because that's exactly what she was doing. So, self-declared.
Doing a January 6th?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
okay. Yeah. January 6th wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. Of course, there was no guns in this one either. Of course, once you start bringing out guns, then you're in big trouble. She was just, but actually, there was violence. They ran over a policeman, I know, in Baranovici, and then the police kind of got a little bit berserk, and they were getting very heavy-handed, I guess. That's what I heard from people, witnesses in Baranovici. But some guy ran over a policeman. That's what kind of kicked off the police.
But you go to London, any of these protests I don't like, they're very vicious there with their batons.
Yeah.
I've got video of the Met Police beating people up.
But, they don't show, they only show the ones in Belarus, but, that was Baranovici, so it was too small of a place. And I don't know, maybe they didn't kill any policemen in Minsk, so they didn't get that heavy-handed. But I remember seeing, I think at that time, there were some people in custody and security services of some sort, police, I don't know, were interviewing them, and these people, we're sorry, we're not going to do it again, because they released them. They just held these people. Only the ones that were doing something like destroying probably property and people and shooting at policemen, or who knows what the deal was, if they had guns, I don't know. Those are the ones I think that they kept, but the other ones that were just protesting and getting uppity and maybe spitting on policemen or something, I think they let them go. But so, Antonia, if the Eastern Europe war does not escalate, it looks like the Middle East war will. Also, according to the new UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, he said war is coming. We have a photo of that. I took a screen print. No. The one of a screen print of the headline of the one before that. Don't tell me that didn't come through.
The one after.
The one after. Huh.
There you go.
Okay. I guess I mixed the two up. That's my fault then. He said new war is coming, and he's talking about in the Middle East. So because
Israel's going to attack South Lebanon.
Yeah, they're spreading it all out, and a lot of people are wondering, well, why are they doing this stuff? Why is a lot of people are
there's an aircraft carrier moving into the
Oh yeah, U.S. is sending one. Yeah, but they said that Netanyahu is doing this because I guess he will be put on charge for corruptions unless he keeps a war going. He will have to stand trial. And, apparently, I don't know why that is, but that's how that goes. And yeah, so he's got to keep that stuff. Let's see now. What else? Yeah, but anyway, the war continues, and I guess he wants to keep escalating it, make it worse and worse. And this, now you can put the other one up, the one that was supposed to be before. This is another official in the United States, and I guess there's been quite a few. This guy, he's very high. He's like a deputy of...
drugs high?
Yes.
He looks like it.
Yeah, he looks like Shrek, or he looks like Abominable Snowman with the hair shaved off. I tell you what, if I took a photo like that, I said I would say, hey, no, get another one.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I guess he's a very decent person. And
it's 2 personal attacks tonight.
Oh, okay. I think it was the camera, the lens that was used. Anyway, on this guy. But anyway, his name is Andrew Miller. Same name as the crazy.
Is he related to Matt?
Matthew Miller. Oh man, that would be terrible. What if he looks alike? No, Matthew Miller looks kind of like
Dracula.
Yeah, a little bit like a Pee Wee Herman, Mr. Rogers, Dracula type of guy.
Yeah.
I think more like Pee Wee Herman. This guy, I don't know. He looks more. Anyway, don't want to say that because of personal attacks. So he resigned because of what's going on, and he said he just can't be a part of this stuff. His job mostly, even though that wasn't quite his title, he's like the second highest person in, I believe, in the State Department after. Anyway, doesn't matter. Israeli-Palestinian relations, that was his top thing.
He's not doing very well.
That's why he's resigning, because he's told to continue doing it the way it is going right now. It's terrible. The slaughter, genocide, many atrocities. And let's see here a few from the past days. Yeah, I don't know. Do we have that one? The Israelis.
Yeah, the one with the guy on the trunk.
Yeah, look at what they do. They do this kind of stuff. It's like you maybe can even say it's like human shield, but they're making sure the ambulances can't get this guy. See, there's ambulances right there. They have this guy. He's very badly wounded, strapped to the hood of their military vehicle, and they will not give him to the ambulances. And of course, he died there. They tortured the guy to death. But that's not a war crime. Killing children and things like that. It's a really sickening. I mean, I tell you what, I don't know. You talk about some of the things like what happened even in Belarus in World War II, which was very bad, but it happened for a number of years. And so far, what's been going on in Palestine is very comparable to that. So if you want to get a taste of what happened to Belarus in World War II, just look at what's going on in Palestine right now. And of course, they're attacking the West Bank. It's not just Gaza. So, and I think this was in the West Bank. But I didn't write it down here. Let me see if I did. I don't think I did write down where this is at. No. Then we have another one of a guy that obviously they really got him, they tortured him mentally. So in the next video, mentally and physically.
That was the last video.
Really? Yes. I wonder why these videos didn't go on.
I don't know. Why are you going to a high voice?
Yeah, because I'm pissed off. That's it for this.
Yeah.
If those videos are not on there, I don't know. Something's going on, because I had it all together. Everything was on. I had numbered and everything. Yeah, bunch of crap. So forget that. I guess a lot of the videos, more than half the videos I had are.
Oh, the show's nearly finished
anyway. Huh?
Shows are getting close to be finished.
Okay.
I've got some videos and stuff.
Okay, wait a second. Well, I had 2 more, but of course those videos are.
You can talk about them.
Yeah, it's.
You can describe them.
Well, I had one, and it was talking about a lot of what we were saying at the very beginning about this Gaza war. And it's an article in Israel talking about the fact that Israel killed most of the Israelis on that day, on October 7th.
I think we got that from in the last show. I think I've got that. I will just
No, but the one I had was a different one. This was the article, and I think we had a video before.
No, I've got an article as well.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it was an article, and we were going to talk about the attackums. Remember, Sevastopol.
Yeah.
And this is a dastardly thing. This was just happening today, and I guess it was just right after noon, and there were 5 attackums, U.S. missiles launched on Crimea, Sevastopol, and of course the U.S. said, "Oh, they're not going to be used on civilians," and of course Russia said, "Yes, they are. You're going to be using them on civilians," and blah blah blah. So it's a long-range, accurate missiles, and the U.S. has to coordinate where these things are targeted. So it is the United States coordinating. It might be Ukraine saying we want to hit this place and do this, damage this thing, this property or these people or whatever, and then the U.S. does all the coordinating and makes it happen. So in other words, this is the United States and Ukraine, and they killed people on a beach. Some of the deaths were children, and look at this.
Cluster weapons.
And these cluster bombs, which of course used to be banned, and the United States said, "Oh, we don't have anything else." That was before they started arming Israel with all those bombs. They said, "Oh, we don't have any more weapons. So we have to give Ukraine cluster bombs." In other words, I'll tell you what, you start to see this, and this was just an excuse to get cluster munitions into Ukraine, saying we don't have any more, because they magically came up with a whole bunch of bombs when that happened in Israel or in Gaza. Where did U.S. magically come up with all of these bombs? Because they only had bombs with cluster munitions to give to Ukraine to be used against the Russians or Russian civilians. That's something strange, isn't it? Yeah, so originally I think it was 3 people killed, and I think 2 of them were children, and hundreds injured, probably with lots of shrapnel and everything like that in them. And I don't know how many ambulances they employed, lots of them.
24, I think.
24 ambulances.
So that was today?
Yeah. The USA and Ukraine, partners in crime. Partners in war crimes. Incredible, huh? And, yeah, I guess that's it.
I got some more.
For me, anyway. Yeah. And Russian expert. Oh, I have to add this one little fact. Alex Sukhankin says that it was done to intimidate Russia, killing civilians purposefully in the United States.
This is on the beach here.
Oh, that's where it happened?
Mm-hmm.
So they were killing them purposely, the United States and Ukraine, as an intimidation tactic against Russia, and of course a provocation, trying to get Russia maybe Russia to kill civilians of their own, but they've been accusing Russia all along of killing civilians, which they haven't been. I'm not saying none of them died, but they're not targeting civilians. Ukraine is purposefully and has always, from the very beginning, targeted civilians. They've even admitted it at times.
Yeah, there's 5 children in serious condition in the hospital.
Yeah, so the death toll is just going to go up. Children. So they are added to the list. The United States is now added to the list of baby killers. So you have Ukraine and Israel, baby killers, and now you have America also in your name, people, baby killers. I'm talking about the U.S. government using the military to kill babies. No, anyway. So there you go.
What was that?
Of course, they were called baby killers in Vietnam, too. The U.S. military. Yeah. So you probably have even some You don't see that in Belarus, sort of things.
Yes, but we'll just do some other things. We've got
some other videos,
oops.
Huh? Okay.
I've sped this one up, but this is a couple of videos of President Putin arriving in Vietnam today. Oh, no, not today, this week.
Yeah, a couple of days ago.
Yeah. So I've just sped it up because...
You can show it, because you wanted to brag that he can get downstairs without tripping.
Yeah. Is that how the Vietnamese sound?
Yeah. Wow.
This is sped up twice, normal.
Twice as fast.
Yes.
He was in a hurry anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he said, I'm going to get to bed here. Joe Biden's in bed already, so I want to get to bed. Eat the ice cream and go to bed. Sounds good, actually. Auris, huh? Did he give the leader an auris too?
I don't
like
know.
He did Kim Il-jung?
Seen the video of him and Kim driving along and then hitting Biden.
Hitting
and
Biden?
Laughing.
Oh, somebody made a video.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, after that welcome he got in North Korea, boy, that's hard to beat that one.
Yes. Do you want to play the Fico one? I've cut it down.
Oh, if you cut it down, yeah, cut a lot of the stuff in the back. It wouldn't interest a lot of our people, but Fico,
you might
very good leader.
Yeah, you might want to read the subtitles, I suppose. So.
Oh, I think he's kind of fast, yeah. But I tell you what, he was the vaccines. He was spot on. You have to find out what this guy says. He's really something, incredible leader, even better, I think, than Orban. Just that he's running a smaller country.
Yeah.
And if a small country, if we can get rid of the
subtitles, we'll have to do it this way then, over here. Wait for it. Yep, there we go.
Oh, okay. If a small country like Slovakia has political leaders with such fortitude, its position on international stage is not always easy. Not all major democracies were happy when I refused the bombing of Belgrade, or withdrew Slovak soldiers from Iraq, blocked the introduction of mandatory quotas for illegal migrants, or radically rejected the proposal to abolish the right of veto for EU member states. A self-confident, sovereign Slovak foreign policy, although based on membership in the EU and NATO, but oriented towards all four corners of the world, is simply not in vogue. The situation in the relation between my political representation and partners in the EU and NATO escalated after the Russian attack on Ukraine, where we refused to provide Ukraine with any military aid from state stocks except for humanitarian aid, and where we continue to fundamentally prefer peace to war. It is precisely the conflict in Ukraine that the EU and the NATO has elevated even more, literally sanctified the concept of the single correct opinion. In other words, everybody has to go along with the one correct opinion, namely that the war in Ukraine must continue at any cost in order to weaken the Russian Federation, bring Russia to its knees. Anyone who does not identify with this single mandatory opinion is immediately labeled as a Russian agent and politically marginalized internationally. True. It is a cruel observation, but the right to a different opinion has ceased to exist in the EU. The government, which was formed, whatever, that was fast.
The government, the opposition, was formed in 2020, 2023.
Oh, 2020. Fully submitted to the interests of large countries, and above all, after the start of the war in Ukraine. In other words, they were subservient, the other former one. It immediately adopted the concept of the single correct opinion and literally looted the Slovak armed forces stockpiles.
Yeah, they're putting charges against the former.
Actually for treason, probably, right?
Yeah.
správneho názoru a doslova vyrabovala slovenské ozbrojené sily. Znížila v zásadnej miere
significantly reducing Slovakia's defense capabilities and joined the camp of the countries promoting a military solution to the conflict in Ukraine.
Slovenska a nekriticky sa postavila na stranu krajín presadzujúcich vojenské riešenie konfliktu na Ukrajine. Za to
in return, the Slovak government could do as it pleased to its people. Between 2020 and 2023, there was a widespread abuse of the penal code to liquidate the opposition, which would have been him.
Sounds like they're trying to do that with Trump.
Yeah, incredible.
Lawfare.
Opposition representatives were accused and detained without evidence, like Trump. There were instances of suspicious deaths in custody. Hillary Clinton. For large democracies, it was much more important than the rule of law to have political forces available in Slovakia that were and are ready to do anything for the benefit of foreign interests, even if it is in direct contradiction to Slovakia's national priorities. In other words, screw your country for the West, like Germany is doing. After the parliamentary elections in September 2023, when Smer SSD, which is his party, formed the fourth government, together with its coalition partners, it reaffirmed the policy of a sovereign and self-confident Slovak foreign policy, oriented towards all four corners of the world. Since the September 2023 election, there is again no one holding up a mirror to the growing and well-fed opposition's aggressiveness. Neither the media nor the self or non-governmental organizations, nor the head of state, nor Brussels,
are we keeping you up?
Nor NATO. Yeah.
Ani mimovládne organizácie, ani hlava štátu, ani Brusel či NATO.
The hatred and aggressiveness of the current opposition covered and tolerated by
media.
Non-governmental organizations funded by foreign countries. The opposition abuses how long democracies enforce a single mandatory opinion on major foreign policy issues. It's identical to what happens in other Western countries. Huh? Wow. And reject the sovereign positions of small countries. Wow, that's incredible. When you think about it, it's running like that all over in the West. All countries are run exactly the same way. So in other words, you can't say that there isn't a deep state or a shadow government or whatever you want to call it. Masters of the universe. Somebody must be directing it from somewhere. Somehow I think it's mainly from the US. But as you know, it's there's a lot of other interests behind the US government that are pushing this as well, and it's mostly, as you say, like big corporations, rich people. You got the Soros Foundation, you got those kind of people, and they want some of their agenda to be run through. So,
okay, before we do our, you won't find that in Belarus. We'll do one Belarus thing. Belarus came second in the BRICS Games.
Wow, second out of 5, or how many countries were all together?
90.
90 countries. Wow.
90.
Incredible.
So they came second. Belarus, Russia first. So there you go. In the medal tally.
Who was in third place? China.
Yeah, China.
And then Uzbekistan. Looks like Uzbekistan. Yeah.
And then Brazil.
Huh. That's incredible.
There you
go. Belarus. Good job.
So if you're on YouTube, you got to get off. Oh, you don't have to get off.
Get off.
Get off.
Get off.
Get off it now. And come over to Rumble. Moderator in the chat, Rolf, and the other guy, Ralph. He'll put the link in there in the YouTube one if you can come over now. Oops. Well, of course, I could be wrong, or I could be right.
Oh, my. I still wonder what happened. There you go.
Little elevator music. Please go to Rumble. We're going to take YouTube off. Go to
step into the darkness. Step towards the unknown.